Hello everyone, welcome to a brief tutorial around Long Beach. First, I will just run through a lap here for you guys, and then um, as we go through the hot lap, I will then do a quick, brief um, overview of each corner and, just provide any high-level commentary I can. Try and get this within a 10-15 minute window. Um, so, yeah, just first and foremost, this is just a 107.6 lap time in time attack using the fixed setup. So anyone that's using the fixed setup can benefit from this. Anyone that's using an open setup can also benefit from this, but there may just be some slight quirks from an open setup to a fixed setup. But I think a lot of the same um, driving technique will apply. So anyway, without further ado, I'll get the lap going. All right. So that's a lap of Long Beach. So let's go through and do a step-by-step guide. So first things first, just keep it to the right-hand side on the straightaway, full throttle. We're heading into turn one, which is a 90-degree corner. From here, I'm just going to use the white line um, as my brake marker. I'm going to brake fairly hard, around 70 to 80%. As I kind of reach the 100 marker, I'm going to start trailing off the brake, and as I'm trailing off the brake, I'm turning in. From here, we're going to try and avoid hitting the curb too much, but definitely get a little bit of it. And then as soon as we clear that, just get on the power as much as we can and try and tie ourselves up to the wall. Get as close as we can. Car's a little unstable here, so not all the way at full power. And then from here, we're going to line ourselves up for turns 2 and 3, a fountain turn. So the key here is you're going to kind of gradually get into the brakes here and then aim for this left side wall and put it into first gear. You're going to try and I would say the main thing is you want to get your right side tires onto this curved portion of the track, and a lot of people will push wide. That's not going to help set you up. You want to hold yourself pretty tight through this section because that's going to give you the best opportunity to get on the power as soon as possible and also line you up. So I'm pretty much lined up, ready to go. I would consider this almost as like a second apex to hit because like a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll push wide. They'll really fight the car to go right to avoid slamming into the wall, and they'll end up on the kind of the right side of the track. Whereas you can see here, I'm pinning myself to the fountain and getting on the power quickly, and I'm already lining myself up for the next corner. So I'm here. I'm braking. This one's kind of just based off feel, but I braking basically when this gray portion of the fence ends. Um, and you can see I'm kind of just dragging the brake a little bit and then just rolling off completely. The setup is not exactly designed to handle bumps. So the thing is with that is that I just don't want to disturb the car anymore than needs to be. Like you can kind of just see it on the onboard here that it was pogoing a pretty decent amount, and that's just something that you're gonna have to live with. As the tires come up to pressure, it'll be a little better, I think, during the race. But yeah, that's just like your worst case scenario. Just let the car settle on its own. Now let's go into turn 5. So this one's going to be your problem area. A lot of people have been crashing here. This one's especially dangerous on the outlaps with these green tires. So my personal advice here is brake a little earlier than you think and keep it to the wall right before this K1 speed sign is kind of like my guiding North Star here to turn in. And then I would say be aggressive with the curbs. There's only one curb here that's really your no-go zone, and that's the your no-go zone is the first curb. The reason why I say this is because if you hit the first curb on the right side, then that means you're probably going to hit like the other curbs with your left tire and kind of just launch yourself. So that's not ideal. Again, you can see that the car is just bouncing everywhere. You're just gonna have to live with that. Um, and as a result, I'm just being very smooth with the throttle. So it's kind of like a two-stage here. Like you can see, my right rear is not even touching the ground. I'm just absolutely launched. The car's pogoing everywhere. I'm just slowly getting onto the throttle, letting the car kind of settle, and then as it finally settles, then I'm absolutely like just throttling it here. And then yeah, it's like you could basically do one of those silly F1 graphics, whatever, 6 inches from the wall, from right there. Then heading into turn 6, this one is, I would say, probably one of the most underrated corners in terms of how tricky it is. I would say that the main thing is that there's a ton of time to be gained from hitting the corner correctly, and I'd say most of the time gained is honestly coming like out of the exit. So I would say this white line and 200 marker are your best friends here. I kind of see it as this white line tapers off. That's kind of my breaking point. The 100 is my turn-in point. I'm trail braking down pretty good. I'm still on the brake, and you can see how incredibly close we get to the wall here. And then it's the same thing, right? The rear is kind of unstable, so I'm just kind of doing it in stages where I'm going up on the throttle slowly. And once you clear full throttle here, which is, you're pretty much going like straight at the point that you're full throttle. I like, for example, if you're full throttle here, then you're probably gonna just completely eat it. So I would say just let the car kind of naturally straighten out as you get to that point. As the car is naturally straightening out, then you can get back on the power. So from then you're getting over to the left as soon as possible, right? Like this corner ahead is very narrow and um, extremely bumpy. So you need to basically just move over as soon as you can to this 200 marker, which is my braking point. You can see that the car is a little unstable under braking. It kind of snaps out from me. You can see I'm not using much brake because it's pretty bumpy. I'm just trying to carry as much speed as I can and got pretty close to the wall there. And if you don't get close to the wall on entry, I promise you will get close to the wall on exit. And the more you can kind of square it off as a late apex, the better, right? If you're squaring it off as a late apex right here, um, that's great. If your apex is like, at this white curb and you're like already turned in, like like let me put it this way. The car running this line, it's extremely natural for me to just let the car rotate and do its thing. If I'm a foot to the left, maybe not even a foot. If I'm I'm a foot to the left, then this whole line will just get disturbed, and you'll see like people flying off into the wall. Then we're going into the last section of the track, turn 9 is when you're going to brake right at the 300 marker or a little bit before it. You can brake pretty hard here, and the 100 is kind of like your turning point. It'll be in second gear. You can judiciously use the curbs as well. Get back on the power. Get over to the left a little bit, and you don't need to get over all the way, because that's just gonna like, you're probably not gonna get back to where you need to be if you go all the way left, or all the way to the right, I should say. From here, you're gonna, basically I'm lifting right before this shadow hits, and then dragging the brake. And then from here, like, basically our job is twofold. We're trying to carry as much speed as possible, and we're trying to pin the car to the left so that we can square off our braking zone for the hairpin, right? So we're carrying as much speed as possible, using a little bit of throttle. The throttle helps rotate the car a little bit. And then you can see from here, I'm like pretty much straightening like the car out. The car is naturally doing that. So I'm dragging the brake, and then as the car is kind of straightening, as the wheel's straightening, you can see my brakes going up. And then I'm turning in and dragging the brake back down. So as you can see, it's a very natural motion. And then as I'm unwinding the wheel there, you can see from there we're going full power. Some people do the hand over hand motion in this corner. I prefer to just keep the hands on the wheel, and just do like a full 180 and keep my hands on the wheel, because as you can see, the car gets a little loose here, and I'd rather be able to fight the wheel as soon as possible. Whereas some people, they'll do the hand over hand, straighten out the car, get on the power. I just think it's easier to have your hands on the wheel. So anyway, that's a lap at Long Beach. So yeah, be careful with the Waiuli tires, and you know, they're especially dangerous on the first lap or two, getting onto power, and then also under braking, there tends to be a little bit less rear grip. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you practice the Waiuli tire, and make sure you practice the primary tire as well if you happen to do an open series race. If you're doing a fixed series race, all you need to do is choose one tire. And in all likelihood, you're going to go with the alternate, because that one is slightly faster over the run versus the primary. And then just in terms of adjustments really quick, you can tune the bar. Going up on the bar will make the car tighter. Going up on the front bar, I should say, will make the car tighter. Going up on the rear bar will make the car looser. I was running 3-1 for this lap. The brake pressure is another good one to adjust. I went up a click. I might go up another one to 55.5, and that's just going to help. As the car is under braking, you're just going to get a little bit more snug, I would say. Like the rear is kind of braking out there, braking into turn 8, and I just don't want to have that problem. So that's my recommendation. Of course, you're going to want to do some trial and error, figure that out for your own, because everyone has different preferences. Thank you guys for watching. I'd love to hear some feedback, or if this is helpful, I'd love to hear it. And yeah, everyone have a great week, and I hope to see you guys on the track. Thanks for watching. Bye.